Okay, everybody, we're back with our trending topics on fentanyl. And this is serious, you guys. This is crazy to me. I am so concerned, befuddled, and bewildered by this whole situation going in the nation. I'm not sure, makes it them want more and, and, and um, you know, uh, that's not even something that I basically, there's so many people, unfortunately, who fall victim. Oops, sorry, Instagram. So it is now they got it. Is it now? It's a, a synthetic. Let's talk about what it is. An analgesic, meaning that it is potent. It's a potent information out of basic. The potent is established to the to 100 times more potent. And I hate morphine. Morphine makes me itch, like because when it's coming out of you, your body sweats, and you just have all these different feelings. And I've had to be, with my surgeries and different things like that, I've had just don't like it. It doesn't, and it had I have adverse reactions where I become really mean. My mom was like that, and um, my sister didn't like it. She had to be on morphine also. So at one point, all these little jokers done chewed up my cord. So hopefully y'all can hear me okay on my headphones. Jesus, take the wheel. Be offense, these little chaps. Oh, but I love having something to love. So now I do. Hey. But anyway, so it's 50 to 100 times more potent than morphine and significantly more potent than any commonly used opioid that you may or may have ever heard of or tried. Jesus. And so it's really scary and very sad. Medically is used for, they've taken that off the market. It is now completely illegal. It's not supposed to be used at all. But apparently, in people who have become addicted to its need for speed, they have been out here making this crap. And in doing that, not only are they're using it in colorful candy now. That's one of the things that I wanted to show y'all or talk to you about. Ouch, mister. Why are you pulling them? Is this learn how to use your claws week? Because I told you they're so tiny. They're so tiny, but they weren't using their claws, but now they're using them. On me, no doubt. Now, I ain't going through no more scratches. I done been through this before. But anyway, variants and fentanyl comes in various forms and analogs, um, including carfentanil, a veterinarian grade fentanyl variant from known for its extreme potency, and these variants pose a great risk of overdose due to the high potency. And I don't know what it makes people feel like, but what I heard was they that's when they get to shoulder lean. They get to leaning, and their body won't straighten out and all that mess. They look quite crazy downtown LA. They look crazy leaning over. And it's interesting because I had this guy get in my Uber, and one day he was saying, "Oh, she's a crystal meth addict." Because he said the ones that walk around looking like zombies, that's what they on, crystal meth. He said, but them people linked over right over there, them that's fentanyl. I was like, dang, I can't even see it. Okay, I can't even see it. I remember when I used to have my womanly monthly. before all my innards got taken out. I'm telling you, I was in lots and lots and lots of pain. And to the point where I probably would have tried anything. But thankfully, I didn't have to go there because I ended up having relief or whatever. And they just took it out, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. But I'm just thinking about the worst pain that I had. Because even when I had my son, I ended up having a cesarean. So I didn't even experience hardcore labor. And even when I was in hardcore labor, they had already used the Pitocin. So I was numb. I didn't feel anything. So, anywho, with that being said, I'm just saying, the role in the opioid crisis. We are now talking about fentanyl has played a significant role in the opioid crisis and refers to a widespread of misuse and addiction to opioids, and including prescription painkillers and illicit substances. No comparison whatsoever. Fentanyl by far has created a monster of an effect on people's lives, their family members. And the sad thing that I was bringing in our trending topics where we talk about celebrity news is Robert De Niro's grandson, his daughter's son. He had a fentanyl overdose, unfortunately, and that is very sad. So we see things like this hit celebrities too. It's not just people like us or people, because I always wonder, people that are homeless and they're out there in these streets and stuff, and like, how are they getting access to this drug? Where are they getting the money from? Like, I don't know. I don't even know. I mean, I venture to guess because we really don't know where it's coming from. But the bottom line is, it's obviously coming from somewhere, and it's not a good place. Okay. So with that girl and his daughter's fentanyl laced pills. Now, I'm not sure if the story has been brought to or not that he was taking another kind of pill, but this just goes to show you that he was 19 years old. He died from suspected overdose. He was allegedly, according to his mom, doing that and ex um, basically told him this, that they knew were. Now, see, this is the messed up part about this crap. They still sold them to him. And she wrote in the comment section on in her Instagram post. So for all of you people still effing, meaning FUCKING, around selling and buying this SHIN, I could I could only imagine. I'm so sorry. It just makes me want to give her a hug because I know that she's pissed off that her son was out there buying drugs anyway. But the fact that somebody sold him something other than what he thought he was getting is jacked up. And who knows what people go and unresponsive inside a New York, his residence in New York City about 2 a.m. Or 2 p.m. On July 2nd, a couple days before this was what was given out to the tabloids and to the news stories. And he was pronounced dead at the scene. Um, his mom, the Robert De Niro's daughter, Dream. back in here. Okay. Okay. All right, here we go. Um, and I'm saying, you guys, be careful. Watch your babies. You know what I'm saying? I never ever let anyone babysit my child. Never, ever, 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 ever. You know, and even if things happen later on in life, you still can't prevent that from happening if you're not with your kids. And that's why it's imperative that you be with your children before Halloween, because this fentanyl has been made into these colorful looking Halloween, giving somebody some candy laced with fentanyl, and oh my God, can you imagine, for you make sure that you keep watch over your children. This is not for somebody else to do. You know what I'm saying? Um, I, I, I don't see. I have never been someone who, everybody and everybody around. We got a lot of things to worry about in this world, a lot of things. And so what the government is trying to do is get a hold on the fentanyl crises before Halloween comes, because again, these candies are they're like different little rainbow colors. They look like Skittles, but they're bigger. And now y'all need to watch out for the edibles. And I'm not saying there will be edibles like with laced with fentanyl. The point I'm making is that they are now finding fentanyl in edibles. So people are cray cray for the real real and not the play. Y'all gotta be careful out in these streets. And if getting high is so important to you, and you gotta feel it like that, when you get the shoulder lean, because we thought crack was bad in the 80s, but hell, it ain't. I don't even hear about crack. I'm not saying it's not there anymore. I'm just saying, yeah, it is in crisis. They're saying in the state of California, and so they're putting out all these, PBAs, PCAs, sorry, PCAs, that it's basically illegally manufactured and it's dangerous. And if they find the people that distributed it to you, then they're going to jail for felonies, murder. hmm And it's being mixed with other drugs like heroin and cocaine, uh, methamphetamines and MDMA. I don't know what that is. Even weed, they lacing it with weed. So shoot, if I ain't rolling, I ain't smoking it. But a person can easily overdose on fentanyl, and overdose, like, we know the story of Michael Jackson, and that he was given the fentanyl, and the doctor gave him too much. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about drugs, when doctors give you the drugs that are used, whether it's for pain or whatever it is, sometimes they use a sliding scale. Sometimes they do what they call titrate. And titration means you taper off of it slowly as you get to a certain time and point. And in the process of that titration, it's to prevent addiction. They have these electronic pumps, and they give you the pump, but the pump is only allowed to distribute or disperse a certain amount into your bloodstream at a time. So when you, as a non-medical personnel that has not been to medical school, decide you're going to take a drug, And you think, oh shoot, I just take a little bit more because I feel high now, but I'm gonna feel real high in a minute. No, you're gonna be real dead. You ain't gonna feel nothing. That's crazy. You could easily overdose on fentanyl. And an overdose occurs when the drug produces a serious adverse effect and life threatening symptoms. Death from an opioid overdose happens a lot. And that's when the drug dispresses the parts of the brain that control breathing. Signs and symptoms when people overdose on opioids include their face becomes extremely pale. I don't care how black you are, how brown you are, how gray you are, how white you are. You're gonna get whiter and paler. They feel clammy to the touch, like sweat, but there's really not anything coming out. Their body goes limp. Well, they're already leaning, but their body goes limp. Their fingernails and lips have purple or blue coloring. They start vomiting or making grueling noises, and they cannot be awakened or unable to speak because they become like just a zombie, basically. But their breathing is labored or slow or stops. So the risk of addiction in fentanyl is addictive because of its potency. And like I said, if people have already have an addictive personality, then you can imagine why and how this particular drug is going to create more of that. And it scares me, to be honest, because we know that the crack addiction was bad, and it was like the need, as most people that I have spoken to that had access to crack or were on crack and had an addiction to it. They just basically said that it was like they couldn't get high enough, and so who's to say if they didn't get a hold of this, that they would need to continue that high and overdose. Some of the symptoms, if you think you might know someone, people addicted to fentanyl who stop using it can have severe withdrawal symptoms that begin as early as a few hours after they've stopped using it. The symptoms can also be extremely uncomfortable and painful. And the reason many people find it just so difficult to even stop taking the fentanyl is because of it being difficult and painful. But some of the symptoms include muscle and bone pain, sleep problems, diarrhea and vomiting, cold flashes and goosebumps, uncontrollable leg movement, severe cravings. So you guys, I mean, I don't know what we're going to do with our society and the things that they get into and decide to try and stuff. But things that you have to be wary of is that fentanyl, again, is illegally manufactured and it's dangerous. And it's made without quality control of the pharmaceutical grades of fentanyl. And it's a major contributor to a lot of the deaths and the synthetic overdoses that we're seeing right now. It's being illegally manufactured. And in addition, that is sold illegally as a powder, is dropped onto a blotter or paper, but in eyedroppers, in nasal sprays, or made into counterfeit pills that look like other prescription opioids. So I'm just outdone. And then it can even be placed on something that you might touch. We've talked about how women, not just women, but anybody can go to their car, and if you see a little tissue stuck in between the hands, the handle to open the door, not to touch it, because if it's on there, you could easily become poisoned by fentanyl. So important enough, you know what I'm saying? It could be mixed with other drugs, like I said, heroin, cocaine, weed, methamphetamines, MDMA, and it's risky when people basically are taking this drug, but they don't realize that they're taking the drugs, like Robert De Niro's grandson. They're using it and they don't realize it might contain fentanyl, and it's significantly increased their um, risk for overdose. It's just horrible. But these are, again, the most common drugs involved in overdose deaths in the United States. In 2017, see, I didn't even know what was going on back then, but 59% of the opioids related deaths involved fentanyl compared to 14 and a half percent in 2010. So it increased, you know, like by 40%, almost 50%. Uh, well, increased by 40, yeah, about 40%, almost 55% in 7 years. So who knows what those numbers are today? When here we are, six more years in. So maybe they'll tell us again, but in future years. But please, you guys, be careful and stay away from this drug. And even if you are someone who unfortunately has become privy to this drug by accident and you're still alive to talk about it, please seek assistance and help as soon as possible to make sure that you don't become someone that we've talked about that is experiencing the painfulness. And if you are, stick through it and get through it and get past it because we want you here. This is a sad state of affairs. But again, and another thing, um, fentanyl can be given as a shot, a patch that's used on a person's skin. They're putting them in throat lozenges and cough drops, child. So just be careful. Be careful. I don't know if you all remember when I was talking a couple months back about the eye drops that blinded people and killed them. And I'm not quite sure if fentanyl was put in those eye drops. I'm not sure if they tested it to find out or not. But just be careful. Do not take stuff from people you do not know. And do not be so quick and gullible to try something that you may not realize can take your life. Okay? And I'm Dina Marie, your host for Dina Marie Live on this episode of Trending Topics Podcast, number 74 episode. Can you believe it? Our 74th episode. I'm so thankful and so blessed where we spoke about fentanyl today. And I want all of you to live past the pandemic, past this, uh, pan, the pandemic, and past this. I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to say. Past this drug issue that we're having right now. But it is a powerful, powerful issue going on right now with these opioids. So please save yourself, but save others. And please, those of you out there aware of someone giving someone something that they know is laced, please be honest and please help our nation. Okay? All right, we'll be right back with each one teach one in a moment.